Next up, Adnan Darwiche is going to talk about the Department of Computer Science. A lot of cool things. I love programming, and actually my research in electrical engineering is closely related to some of the stuff that Professor Darwiche does himself with these. I work with message passing algorithms and sort of.
All right, I have the wrong slide. Good morning, everyone. I'm Adnan Darwiche, Chair of Computer Science, and I'll use my few minutes to talk about the department and the field. And now we have the right slide here. Thank you. I guess it's probably fair to say that computer science is probably one of the most exciting fields to be in and has been for some time, not just because of the fun, rich, and intellectually stimulating subjects that our students get involved with at the undergraduate level, but also because of the very exciting and innovative career opportunities that await them when they graduate. If you look up there on the screen, I show some examples of the subjects that our students get exposed to during their undergraduate education here. I'm going to say a few words about each and what career opportunities they lead to. But let me first stress that in many institutions, some of these areas are not even available to students at the undergraduate level, and they're basically reserved for graduate education. We have, however, embarked on a serious effort to make as many of these available to our undergraduates, typically in terms of electives, to allow them to actually cater for their interests and for their needs and for their career objectives. If you look at software systems and software engineering, this is one of the backbones, of course, of any education in computer science. All of our students get heavy training in this area, preparing them to take on careers in the software industry, working for some giants like Microsoft, Apple, or more specialized companies like Symantec, Facebook, mostly contributing to softwares that affect our life on a daily basis, from Microsoft Word and Excel to virus detection systems to social networking systems and similar products. Our students also get education in computer architecture and hardware, especially if they specialize in the computer engineering track. We have 2 tracks in this area, again, preparing them for careers in companies like Intel and IBM, where they can contribute to the design of hardware systems that gets shipped to households and industries, again, all over the world. They can actually opt to take more specialized courses in areas like computer animation and graphics. Earlier, Vijay mentioned that one of our faculty has an Oscar. Actually, that's not for a supporting actor role. That's actually for his work in the area of animation and their contributions to that industry. People can take classes in the area of artificial intelligence, which is concerned with building software and hardware systems that are smart and intelligent and adapt to human behavior. Examples of these are navigation systems that we see in our cars today, machine translation systems that we see on the web that translate between different languages to make it easier for people to browse topics in languages that they're not familiar with, again, preparing them for corresponding careers. We have recently made an aggressive effort to make topics or classes in bioinformatics available at the undergraduate level. This is an area at the intersection of computer science and biology with great potential in future areas like personalized medicine. Some of our undergraduates can actually get exposed to that as early as, again, their undergraduate careers, and so on. I can go on. Let me just mention internet computing as one of the also main strengths in our department. In fact, as some of you may already know, the very first message on the internet actually went out from our department about 40 years ago from here, Beutelhoor, 3rd floor, and that's why our department at the school is typically known as the birthplace of the internet. The one thing I want to mention here is, towards the end, is our undergraduate program is one of the highlights, but we have about 350 graduate students also in our department. And the reason I'm mentioning this is the graduate program is run by some of the finest research faculty in the world who are doing research and innovations in all of these areas. And it's exactly those faculty that are teaching our undergraduate students in these subjects. We rely very little on outside lecturers. And I want to mention this because in many institutions, there is a greater and greater reliance on people from outside the department to handle undergraduate education. We do very little, if any, of that in our department. So you'll hear about most of this later today in our open house. You'll hear from some of our alumni about their experience with the department, our current students on their current experience, and some of our faculty. I personally will be there. Look forward to talking to you more about the department, about the field. And until then, again, welcome to UCLA, and I hope you will have a most enjoyable rest of the visit. Thank you.
Thank you, Adnan. You know, let's face it, no matter which major you go into, you're going to have to be, in some sense, a little bit of a computer scientist. Because no matter what type of engineering you do, today, you're going to do it on a computer. And so in the School of Engineering, no matter what major you're in, sooner or later, you're going to be taking a class in the computer science department, CS31, a C++ programming class, that for many students, it's considered a challenge, but also a wonderful experience. You have to work very hard in that class, but when you come out of it, you know how to program a computer. Not just point and click, but really make it happen. So we're really proud of that class and of everything that's going on in the computer science department. Now we come to electrical engineering, which is my home department. And so I have an unusual chance to see, you know, the everyday workings going on in that department and what the chair, Professor Ali Sayed, does. And I have to tell you that, you know, in that time since he's been chair, so there must be some kind of Ali Sayed time machine, because he does a lot of research, he writes textbooks, but he also spends about 24 hours a day working tirelessly to make the electrical engineering department the best that it can possibly be. And Ali has a special way of doing this. You know, he's single-mindedly doing everything he can to make electrical engineering the best that it can be, and doesn't let things stand in his way. So, for example, for this presentation today, the chairs were all told, we only have 3 or 4 minutes, give us one slide. So Ali Sayed used the latest PowerPoint technology to give us one slide that goes through 10 different slides. And you know, the person who organizes this event came up to me and said, you know, Dean Wessel, what are we going to do about this? You know, we said one slide, he has 10 slides. And I looked at it, and I watched how it went through these 10 slides in exactly the allowed amount of time, and I said, you know what? Really, this is what we ought to have all the chairs do. It's really much better than what we've done before, and so, you know, let him do it. He's doing the best thing he can for electrical engineering and taking the school forward, and that's what Ali always does. So here's Professor Sayed.
Thank you very much, Rick. He had the power to veto that, but fortunately he didn't. Okay. I am Professor Sayed. I'm from the Electrical Engineering Department. On behalf of my faculty, staff, and students, I would like to welcome you here at UCLA today and at our school. I will be talking to a group of you later today in the electrical engineering session, but in these few minutes, I would like to address the young minds that are sitting here, and especially those that haven't made up their mind yet about what specialization to follow. So I would like to talk to the undeclared students and those who have declared other areas as well. Please consider electrical engineering. You know, this is, as you are seeing through these slides, electrical engineering is pervasive throughout society, and electrical engineering education will make of you a deep thinker. It will launch your creativity, your inventive spirit. You will be able to think of big ideas, create new devices, new processing, new architectures that make a huge difference to society. Dean Deere earlier said that engineers create ideas and create devices, and he's right. And I would say that electrical engineers create great ideas and great devices. And if you want to do that, EE is the place for you. You know, and to prove that, just look around you. You know, everything, almost everything you do today or you use has electronics in it. None of us here would be able to talk with you without some electronics. Do you hear me? You can't hear me, right? You see? So when people ask me, I tell them electrical engineering is magic, and this is how I prove it to them, magic in a good sense. Okay? So look at your cell phone, right? This is a device that you can use to talk to a person on the other side of the world without a wire connecting both of you. Had I told you this, that you would be able to do this 100 years ago, you would have laughed at me. This is magic. Just think about how much creativity, how much complexity, how much thinking, how much science, how much physics went, and how much chemistry went into this. Batteries are chemistry, okay, so. Right? This is incredible. When you visit your doctor and you lie down on that imaging machine that can peek into your body and get these complex images without even touching you. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that magic? How much thinking went into creating a device like that, that can peek into your body and give these images that can save lives? When you launch a robot, launch a rover into space and land it on a planet far away, not even a human being has set foot on that planet, and then maneuver that robot on the surface of that planet, isn't that magic? Think about how much complexity, how much thinking, how much modeling, how much analysis went into designing a system like this. That's what electrical engineers do all the time. You know, you think, you model, you think of big ideas, of big problems. You know, if I tell you today, how many of you would love to have eyeglasses that you can look into and see through that wall? Right. Many of you will think that's impossible. An electrical engineer will never tell you that that's impossible. They will keep chipping at this problem bit by bit and bite by bite. Years ahead, a decade from now, a century from now, they will give you a device all of you will love to use, just like your cell phone. All of you will take it for granted. And none of you will think about that you laughed today at it, right? That one day you thought that was impossible. That's what electrical engineers do. They think of big ideas, and let's see what we can do to help society. So if that's what you would like to do, EE is the right place for you, okay? I will see you later and talk to you. Thank you.